All right, you guys, we are here in Fredricksburg, Virginia for the Northern Virginia Reptile Expo, and we're going to be asking every vendor, what is your favorite animal on your table today? Let's go. All right, I'm here with Kayla from EKG Exotics, and Kayla, what is your favorite animal on your table?
So, I have two. This is my favorite one of these. This is a lemon ghost hognose. So it's a polygenic trait, so you get a lot of variation in it. This guy has a lot of reds and yellows on him, and his background is really nice and light.
Yeah, he's crispy looking. Look at the belly.
Yeah, he's a really nice expression of it. And his dad has some Loma lineage in him too, so it causes more of this banding. He's a really pretty example.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
He's also het albino, so he can make albino lemon ghosts too, which are more orange.
Bit of a powerhouse.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then I have these. So this is a green line toffee belly. So it's the toffee belly trait on top of a polygenic trait, which is the green. And they've got these really pretty bellies too. Instead of the typical black belly on a hognose, they're more purpley. And it's a lot lighter than a typical toffee belly because they got this green underneath. So it's basically like this. It's a toffee belly paint job on a green line snake. So this is a green line male. You can see how he's basically fancy normal kind of. It's because it's a polygenic trait. It's not just one gene that makes it green. So when you put the toffee on top of it, you get that kind of look.
I like that light color. That's nice.
Yeah, and he's got a really pretty belly too.
Yeah, that belly is really nice.
So they're probably my favorite, even though they're all my favorites. He's got a
That's
cool
understandable.
belly. Yeah. They're all my favorites.
You guys have some cool arachnids too. Do you have any favorite arachnids?
Yes, absolutely. So I like dwarf species a lot. Just because you can have a lot of tarantulas that are dwarfs and they don't take up a whole lot of space.
That is true.
This is a female Davis pentaloris. So she is, I think a tiger rump is the common name. I use the Latin names a lot for the tarantulas. It helps me keep track of them a little bit better.
Right, because more than one could have the same common name, right?
Exactly. So
wow.
She is a really nice example. She's just a really pretty female. And they get a little bit bigger than this. She's about, like maybe 2.5 inches. They might get to be 4, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a pretty big female at home who is about 4 inches, and they always look like this too. They always have that really pretty red and black coloration on them.
There's some really cool webbing in there too.
Yeah, they're a cool species because they web a lot, but they're still terrestrial, so they like dig holes and web. It's kind of like you get the best of both worlds of an arboreal and a terrestrial.
Absolutely, that's really cool.
This is another cool spider, actually. So this is actually a true spider. It's a funnel web.
Nice.
It's kind of hard to see. I wonder if I can...
I instantly see why it's called a funnel web.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
They web a ton.
That is literally like a funnel, right?
Yeah.
It goes down the side.
Yep.
That is cool.
They're a true spider, but they're a pretty long-lived true spider. They'll last
there it
about
is, right there. Yeah, it ran away from us. It was like closer when we started opening it. Wow.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They can't climb glass or plastic, but they web so much that it doesn't really matter. They can run out on their webs.
I could see how this would make a really cool looking enclosure with all the webbing.
Absolutely. And they get pretty big too. They can get to be like 4 inches about.
Wow.
And they actually turn really like purplish. We have a picture of an adult over here because this one doesn't really have the coloration yet, but they get the purple legs. And
they all change
body.
Like that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So that would be like this is a female.
Wow.
But they all look like that.
That's super cool.
Yeah. They're awesome.
For sure, absolutely. That's very cool.
Really nice display spider.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kayla.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, I'm here with Brian from Snake Den USA. Brian, what is your favorite animal on your table today?
On my table, it's this red striped spot nose cypress clown.
That thing is a stunner.
And it's a male.
Wow.
But he's really nice. He eats rat pups. You know, he's going to be a good breeder. Got a lot of genes in him. That's cypress gene. You can see the red stripe. I mean, he's a really nice snake.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you usually start them on when they hatch out?
Usually on little hoppers, mouse hoppers.
Mouse hoppers first.
And then after like 2 or 3 meals, if they're growing good and eating good, I'll start them right on to rat pups.
You ever have any problems switching them over or not really?
Not when they're this young.
Yeah.
Even frozen thawed. If you feed live, you can get them on frozen thawed quick.
Yeah,
because they're young and they're aggressive. So by the time you open the drawer to feed them, they're already ready. And if that animal is thawed out nice and warm, they detect that and they'll strike it and you're good to go.
They're not picky yet.
Not at this age.
You want to throw this guy under the light?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has some cool contrast. Yeah, now you can see his colors even better. Wow.
Yeah, he's a beauty.
And I know spot nose has been around for a while, but it's just so beautiful on the head.
Yeah.
Is the red stripe this that I'm seeing right here?
Yeah, and on the sides. There's
a little like almost see-through stripe right there. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, see that? That's the red stripe too.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Yeah, he's an absolute stunner. For sure. Well, all right, you guys. Brian from Snake Den USA. He always has some super quality stuff. So definitely check him out. I'm going to link all his stuff in the description as well. Thanks so much, Brian.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, I'm here with Kevin from Popcorn Python.
How you guys doing?
Kevin, what is your favorite animal on your table today?
All right, so I had to go ahead and show off the banana black pastel OD. Beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them out for you guys. All right.
The contrast on this one is crazy.
So beautiful with the like. You can definitely see the black pastel in them. Look at the colors. You know, I'm a fan of the speckling on them. That black speckles all over them. They get their freckles early sometimes, but definitely beautiful pattern, nice and clean. Very friendly.
Do the speckles increase with age?
They do increase with age.
Is that with any banana?
Most bananas will get freckles over the course of their lifetime.
Are these darker because of the black pastel?
See, I don't know, but I feel like they came in a lot earlier than most of the bananas that I have on the table. I feel like they came in a lot earlier with the black pastel. I haven't really done the research on seeing if that's a correlation or not, but definitely a nice contrast on the pattern itself.
That is a beautiful animal. Absolutely. Thanks so much, Kevin. I'm going to link all your stuff in the description.
Hey, I do appreciate it.
right, I'm here with Scott from Boss Hogs. Scott, what is your favorite animal on your table today?
Hey guys, well I have a few of them. I'm just going to point out some of my favorites. We got right here. I just have this Super Arctic female. She's Paz, triple het, sable, lavender, albino. She's my favorite morph. I love how she turned out. Really high contrast. Really like subtle, a lot of subtlety going on in those lighter saddles. And I've got other Super Arctics on here. I just don't like them as much. Another one that I think that is really neat. Oh, let me close this little thing. This Arctic coral. It's really cool. She's got her pattern really pops compared to some of the other corals. She's looking really good. She's growing good. Just an overall solid animal.
Beautiful.
And
you do bull snakes too, right?
I do bull snakes too. Here's our resident celebrity. This is Charlie, the showstopper. He's just a red albino. He's really chill too. I'm really surprised he hasn't sold.
What do you think of the reputation bull snakes have?
I mean, it's warranted. Most people know they're a lot of bark and a little bit of bite.
Yeah, I've heard they bluff a lot.
They bluff a lot, but you can definitely get them to bite you defensively if you try. They're really sensitive to movement. The thing that'll get them to stoke, you do this in front of them when you open their tub, they'll freak out. But if you go under, get them a little more easy, they're going to be more chill. For the most part, they're still harmless. You get nailed in a weird spot by a 6-foot female, like it hits a nerve in your vein, that's going to hurt. But overall, a lot of them calm down after a year anyway.
Absolutely. So Scott, where can we find you online?
Oh, online, Instagram, boss_hogs, and I'm on Morph Market as well. I have like a fake Facebook account. If you try to follow me, I'm not gonna say hello. I just go in there to lurk occasionally. But yeah, best place to see me is at one of these reptile shows.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm here almost every week for Diamondback Productions, all Maryland reptile shows. Some of the other ones too, Repticon, Gettysburg.
Yeah, and you always have one of the nicer tables too.
Oh, so. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna link all your stuff in the description.
All right,
Thank you so much.
Cool, no problem.
All right, you guys, we're here at EKG Exotics. And what is your favorite animal on the table today?
Leashianus geckos are definitely our favorite animals. What we've been breeding the most of and trying to breed more of them.
It's a very good choice. So these ones are lighter. Are they just younger?
This one's a little bit younger than this one. But
Okay.
It's also a different locality.
Okay.
Yeah, this
so
is
it's a locality.
Yeah, this is a GTA, and this is a Bainese.
I saw you just had a lady holding one. Is there any chance you could take one out?
Yep.
Be cool. No, that's a pretty selfish question. But I don't know if it's for me or the video. Yeah, that is absolutely beautiful. So I see they're jumping around kind of like crested geckos. I think I asked you this before. They stick on surfaces.
Yes. Yeah, they can walk on glass.
So they're pretty confident jumping.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to be able to chase them down, right?
Yeah, they usually calm down a little bit once you have them out, but they're probably a little bit.
That is so cool. Wow, that's a beautiful animal. How long do they live?
Oh, like 30 years.
30 years, wow. Is this like adult size?
Yes, this is an adult. She actually just laid her first set of eggs a couple weeks ago.
So this is a breeder female?
Yes, a breeder.
And she's a mom.
She's
That's
ready
cool.
to breed.
Wow, that is
She hasn't been
beautiful.
bred. She's ready to breed, though.
She's absolutely beautiful. So I saw you guys have like some gargoyle geckos and everything like that.
Yes.
Where can we find you guys online?
LetioExotics.com, on Facebook, and also on Instagram.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And we'll link all that in the description. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, I'm here with Ari from Arachnids Anonymous.
Hey,
and
what's up,
Ari,
guys?
what is your favorite animal on your table today?
All right, well, it's got to be our tarantulas. We got a couple. We have New Worlds and Old Worlds. We have the New World over here. This is a green bottle blue, staple in the hobby.
That's beautiful.
Look at those greens and blues, the orange butt.
Yeah, the butt and the mixed with the blue color is super cool. Absolutely.
Very, very arid-liking species. They can have a little bit of an attitude. They do like to flick a little bit of hair. But other than that, they're pretty chill. They're out all the time, and the big thing why we like them is they do a lot of webbing.
Yeah, I see the webs.
Yeah, they'll web up an entire enclosure within a couple days.
So, Ari, this is one of the few things I do know, but for people that don't know, what's the difference between new and old world tarantulas?
So you have New Worlds, they have hairs. It's called urticating hairs. They flick them off their butt. That's their defense mechanism. It itches. It's kind of like fiberglass, gets in your skin, can be a little bit irritating. You don't want to breathe it in. Now, the Old Worlds, they have no hairs, but they have venom. And the venom, it kind of sucks. It's not going to kill you, but it's going to hurt. It's going to make you sick. You're not going to enjoy it. It's going to be a bad day for everybody. So they tend to be a little bit more defensive and fast. They're not really aggressive, more they're defensive because that's what they rely on to protect themselves. Whereas the New Worlds will just flick a bunch of hairs at you, irritate you, and sit there and, these guys will stand their ground, smack, and throw a display on because they rely on that venom.
They rely on the bite, not the bark.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So the Old Worlds, if I had to pick, you can never go wrong, tried and true with the OBT.
Oh, my God.
Orange baboon tarantula. This is a female right here. Probably, I would say, a 3-inch female?
She is beautiful.
Yeah, she is really, really pretty.
The pattern on those is cool.
Yeah, so unfortunately, they get a bad rap because...
I've heard them called orange bitey thing.
Yep, they get a bad rap, but if you look at most of the bite reports, most bite reports come from breeding and from handling.
From breeding and handling?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so they're not a species you're going to want to overly handle. With tarantulas in general,
you don't really want to handle
anyways, right?
The best way I can equate it is think of their belly like a water balloon.
Yep.
So it's real soft. A fall from, a couple inch distance can actually kill them.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
They're more, I tell people, they're like a fish. They're a visual pet. They just are easier to take care of.
That's a great way to explain it, Ari. Absolutely.
That's probably the best way I could tell you.
Have you ever been envenomated by an old world?
I have not, because I do not handle my old
man.
world.
That's awesome. There you go.
I use a paintbrush about that long when I work with them.
Yeah, I use a paintbrush too.
Yep. On my even when I roll them out of paper and stuff, when we're getting them in and stuff like that, I use 12-inch tongs, and I keep my distance. I wear masks, so I'm not breathing directly on top of them. Makes them a little bit more calm as well. And normally, what I do is I try and get them facing the burrow, so that way they can see there's a dark area, and they'll usually bolt and run. That's the trick with most of the old world species.
Give them a way out.
Give them space and somewhere to hide.
Yeah.
And deep dirt, because most of them like to dig. Unless it's an arboreal, and then you give it less dirt and more height, sticks and cork and stuff like that, so that way it can, build itself a web hammock and stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah,
you got any more favorites?
Probably this one right here. This is Monstrophus balfouri. They are the Socotra Island baboon. They come from a small island off the coast of Yemen called Socotra. They are the only known species in the hobby that can live communally.
Communally? Really?
So they can, once from the same egg sac, if you keep the babies together, they can live communally for the rest of their life.
They have to be related?
They have to be born from the same egg sac generally and have been raised together.
That's so cool.
If not, they can tend to cannibalize each other.
For sure. So only keep it in the family.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
They're great. And you can have, I think the largest communal is like 500 of them in one tank.
That is so cool.
Pretty amazing. But guys, check out our website, arachnidsanonymous.com. You can also join our group, Arachnids Anonymous Meeting. We have 3 different chats on there, one for inverts, one for arachnids, and one for all other exotics. We have breeders from all over the world in the group. You can ask any question you want, and they'll give you an answer in there. It's a cool, awesome environment.
Absolutely. You got a morph market and stuff like that?
We're not on morph market yet, but we do have the website.
Okay.
We offer shipping on the website, and if you are in, the DMV area, Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, we offer free show pickup as well.
Cool.
So you can save on the shipping cost, and we'll take care of your spider until there's a show that we're going to be at near you, and then you can pick it up from us there.
Absolutely. We'll link all your stuff in the description too.
Awesome, man.
Gecko with an exclamation point, so you don't forget it. Geckos.com. There's the QR code if you want to go to the website.
So what is your favorite animal on your table?
The tokay.
The tokay
Tokay
gecko?
has always been one of my favorites. So if you take a look at these, Kyle, for example, we all know what a gargoyle is. Rhacodactylus auriculatus, right? This is Feluma standingi. And I've got a
That's
point to
my
this.
first time seeing one of these.
Yes, a Madagascar desert day gecko.
Wow.
Feluma, the only gecko with no claws. Only sticky pads. Now this, having said the scientific names of these, the scientific name of this animal is gecko.
Yeah.
That's hot, right?
It is.
And so this is a wild-caught imported female I've had for about 8 years. I've got a whole bag full of them. Wasn't able to find any captive bred, so I had to start with something. I've got 6 pairs now. I've been keeping them together, male and female, for 8 years. So does that mean they're pair bonded? Pair bonding's probably nonsense. For anything, I've got.
You don't think with the leechies either?
No. So then we've got this male leechy here. When I take him home and put him back in the cage with the female that he's with, it's like it never met.
Really? And I hear about them smelling another female and then killing the male. That's all a myth.
So I think that it's happened. And these are very expensive animals at one point in time. But still are.
Yes, absolutely.
So our reaction to that as hobbyists is, I've heard such and such. This is how this
because we don't want to risk it.
Yeah, right. But you've got to. The male-on-male combat for a lot of these geckos is the same dance as male-on-female breeding. It's just the outcome's different. So this is a captive hatch tokay from this wild-caught female.
Wow.
This animal is only handled when I take it out of its enclosure at 5 a.m. and put it in a box to bring it to a show.
So it's not like you spend a bunch of time taming it out.
It is not acclimated handling. It is not tamed.
Wow.
It is simply docile. And I don't know anything about it, but the man will tell you that adult tokays in the wild are adults simply because they survived a singular catastrophe that typically would kill another gecko.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
the tail trick maybe, and the tail trick work. But, I don't want to be too rude to this gecko, but you could never do this to a wild caught. Now, I might get some flack for that, but that's rude to the gecko. It's certainly harmless. He's getting ready to jump. You see, his first reaction is not to bite me. Now, what happens is people will say, well, we should get the the folklore says get a tiny gecko, newly hatched. This is only a couple of months old,
Right.
and then handle it every day until for a year, and then you'll end up with this.
Right.
Well, if you leave it alone for a year and you pull it out of the cage, it's going to act like this if it's captive bred. This animal is very skittish at this age.
Okay.
It might not demonstrate it when it.
Oh, I see it already. It's trying to get away.
Yeah. So what's happening if I try to handle this every day and I follow the folklore is I'm handling it as it's growing out of its skittish stage. Okay? That's exactly what happens to this. When you handle
it's just getting older. It's not that you're taming.
That's right. Its behavior's changing because it's older. This gecko, this giant gecko, if I pull this guy out, he's going to be very skittish. The very young giant gecko. Because that's what preserves their health, right? Is running away from everything. This is a wild-caught female, and she's savage. Here? Uh-oh.
Yeah, she's making the noise.
So I better put her back.
Got the mouth open.
But you know how long it took me to learn to refrain from restraining something that's trying to wriggle away from me.
Right.
Because if I had grabbed her, I would get bitten.
You just kind of redirected her.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Oh, she got me there. But if there we go. Now,
once you stop trying to restrain her, she stops going crazy.
Right. Because she just wants to be left alone. Does she know she's on my arm? Does she know this is my arm? Or does she just perceive it as something that's no longer touching her?
She's using you like a branch or a tree.
So I'm going to take care of her to put her back in here. You see,
and the second you touched her, she perceived it as a touch and bit you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then she let go.
Yeah.
But if I tried to hold her, she would have taken the second step, in my experience, which is savagery, and she'll never let go. This happens to be the brand and flavor of food that I'm using now, but I use whatever is cheapest.
Right.
And I never have a problem with finicky geckos.
You have some cool just day geckos, too. I don't see these at shows much either.
Well, so Standini, so I started off with day geckos back in the 90s. It was the first gecko I ever bought was a Grandis day gecko. They didn't look anything like this.
Right.
With all the writing on the package, it may be hard to see exactly. But it's one of those, now we're calling them, I don't know what we're calling them, high reds. So the geckos that I had were spectacular, but they had 5 or 6 or 8, 10 red dots on the back. Okay. Now it extends down into the tail and all kinds of crazy stuff. Reticulated gargoyle, typically, many young reticulated gargoyles will have this completely almost washed white. Now, when they get to be adults, they typically don't generally do that. Here's the father of that animal. When he's fired up, he looks really dark black and gold specks. I got this animal from Nick Agricoli. I've got 2 of them. He no longer breeds racodactyls, but if you want some leopard geckos, Nick's the man. He's still doing those, and his stuff is great. Now, when this animal was younger, it could exhibit this pale, washed-out coloration too. The only reason I mention it is because the pattern is visible on this animal if you look close enough, and the zigzags that are on this young animal can be discerned. When it's older, the pattern hasn't changed. Okay, it's washed out here, but there's certain markings and zigzags that will be unique and specific to that animal. This animal is actually not fired up right now. Let me open it up. So when it is fired up, there's no discernible white on the tail, and the head is I call it a yellow head, but it's really just a much lighter brown. And I'll see if I can turn him over and see. So this animal even has. Typically, these 2 side scales by the cloaca will always be white. I don't know what this is all about, but this animal has no white when it's fired up.
I think a lot of your cooler stuff is really the uncommon stuff that not everybody has.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
We also try to sell younger animals. We also have older animals. Typically, my older animals are more expensive. If I have a lot of a certain pattern, I've been successful with breeding a lot of a certain pattern, I'll, that animal becomes something that I'll sell at a lower price. basically my prices are based upon the ones I like the most have the highest price because I'd rather take them home.
All right, awesome. GexRex.com. Mark, you've been very informative.
And my father, Lewis.
Yeah, and he's absolutely awesome as well. And I'm going to go ahead and link all your guys' stuff in the description. Thank you so much.
All right, Kyle. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you for educating me. All right, you guys, that about wraps it up for the Fredricksburg Reptile Expo. And thank you to all the vendors who participated. We've linked you in the description. Check out our partner Reptile. They're linked in the description as well. And you guys have a wonderful day.